I know this video is about winter art, but my skin... There I'm looking kind of a deathly pale. I look translucent. Right team, welcome back. September is coming to a close, which means we're basically entering survival mode for the next, 6 months. Winter arc, as people like to call it, is literally around the corner. So I thought I'd share some ways in which I'm going to be kind of locking in over the next couple of months, and maybe you can kind of steal some of my strategies, input them into your lives as well, so you can kind of enter the new year feeling 10 out of 10 and hitting whatever goals you might have in mind. And of course, the sun will be arriving and then disappearing again. Okay, so first things first, and it might sound obvious, but we have to create the goal. Kind of almost need to work backwards here. So think like, entering the new year, what kind of woman do you want to be? What kind of habits do you want to have? And how are those habits going to make you feel 10 out of 10? So I personally have a huge focus over the next couple of months on my performance, racing, high rocks. I've got high rocks mixed doubles relay booked for, I think, 21st of Jan. It's later, I know it's later on, back end of Jan. So from now until then, I'm placing a massive focus on my running speed and getting a lot faster. If you don't know kind of about high rocks and how the relays work, it's the exact same race, but it's just split between 4 of you instead. So I'm doing a mixed one. It's me, Ollie's girlfriend Em, and Toby. We've got a good, strong team between us. And because you're doing a lot less volume, you've got the opportunity to really, really send it. Obviously when you're racing, you're gonna send it either way, doubles, singles, whatever that might be. However, obviously with a doubles or a singles, it's slightly different. You've got to make sure that you've got enough in the tank to get through the whole workout. Relays, I think off the top of my head, I think it's how it works this way. Correct me if I'm wrong, because people keep telling me different things. Obviously between the 4 of us, we'll pick 2 stations each, and alongside that you have to do 2k run. So I could run the first K, do the ski, tag Ollie, he'll do the next K, do sled push, etc, etc. So obviously because it's broken up, you can really, really send it on the runs. So yeah, speed for me is a big priority. I'm slowly kind of increasing my weekly mileage, and yeah, I'm working with Jim, my coach, to start really pushing the pace. And yeah, we've got some tough sessions coming up. Next thing is creating your strategy. So people tend to make these kind of winter arc rules, which I think is a really good thing, as long as it's kept realistic. So none of this kind of dare I say, 75 hard situation where you're this, and this are all non-negotiables, because I personally don't know anyone who actually did 75 hard and got through the whole thing. I think I know one person who actually made it through the whole thing, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, you just have to think smart when you're setting your rules. Take into consideration the fact that we're entering Q4, which I know for a lot of people in the corporate world, that is pretty much the busiest time of year. You've got all these festive social occasions coming up, and if you're like me, you've got about 75 birthdays this time of year. I don't really know why all my friends and family are born this time of year. If we could spread it out, that would be great. But yeah, all I'm saying is don't start setting crazy goals I'm gonna walk 10,000 steps a day for the next 90 days, when you know for a fact that 2 weeks from now you've got 2 15-hour days back to back. You've got, I don't know, Becky's hen do and God knows what else going on, where it's going to throw you off track. You're not going to hit the goal. You're going to think that you're a failure and then sack the whole thing off altogether. My kind of strategy over the next 90 days, I'm not necessarily setting rules in place, but my main thing is starting to track my food again. I'm very lucky in the fact that I've had lots of trips away this year over the summer. So nutrition and things, it's been a lot of meals out, a lot of traveling and kind of working with what I've got, but kind of getting back into a routine now. I just kind of wanted to make sure that, I'm hitting enough protein. That's definitely the thing that I can be guilty of slipping on as well. Protein. I need to make sure I'm getting enough of that in, especially to support my recovery. And yeah, just to kind of gauge where I'm at, with what I'm eating and whatever, pay a little bit more attention to it. It's not with any kind of I have to hit X amount of calories or anything just for now. I'm just kind of seeing where I'm at, and I'm going to try and be consistent with it. This actually leads me to my next point, which is to track everything. Track your habits, make something that you can physically tick off every single day. The amount of times that I've had clients come to me and be like, I'm not making any progress at all. I hate to call you out, but Isla, if you're watching this was you the whole time. Literally every check-in, this girl would come to me, I've not made any progress. I feel like I'm not making any progress at all. And trust me, I get it. It happens. It's so easy to convince ourselves that we're not getting anywhere. And then you just end up in this downward spiral of what even is the point? But because obviously as her coach, I track everything. I have all the data, all the graphs. I was able to come back at her, not in a come back at her, but you know what I mean? I was able to reply to her and say, I know you might not feel like you're making progress, but this graph, and this graph, and all of these things that you've achieved tell me otherwise. And that's when she kind of looked at it and was like, you know, I can't argue with that. And then obviously from that, her desire to carry on skyrocketed because she'd built that momentum and she could physically see that she was getting somewhere with all the work that she was putting in. So yes, definitely make sure you're creating something similar. Motivation this time of year is always at an all-time low. It's crap weather, no one can be arsed. All you want to do is curl up under a blanket and watch Harry Potter. So I think it's super important to have something like write down your workouts, make sure you can physically see that, you know, you're increasing the weights, or, you know, track your runs on Strava. You can see that you're slowly getting faster or running that little bit further. All of my girls have their daily habits laid out for them on the app. They'll get a morning to-do list of like, okay, Monday, you've got upper body, drink 2 to 3 litres of water, prioritize protein or whatever. It's all obviously specific to the individual. That helps keep them accountable, and then when they can look back on their calendar, they can see, oh, you know, I've ticked this off, I've created a streak and things like that. So making something similar is going to be an amazing way to keep yourself accountable. The final thing is to create the best environment you possibly can to achieve the goals that you have in place. But in terms of your environment, I mean, like, your environment is everything, like the people that you're around, your space that you're in. I'm a firm believer in tidy room, tidy mind. Let me tell you, you will know what mental state I'm in by looking at the state of my room. If I've got things everywhere, if I've not put my clothes away, I know I'm 25 years old, I'm still guilty of doing this now. You can tell that my head is just gone or my brain is a mess. It always shows in the state of my room, I'm not gonna lie. And then obviously on the opposite end of the scale, you can tell my head is super clear because my room is spotless, everything's nicely folded away, and, you know, it looks a lot less chaotic. But yeah, just make sure that you create that tidy space, that space that's going to help keep you motivated. I feel like, again, winter, this time of year, it's so easy to just be like, negative headspace, like, weather's shit, I've had a crap day at work, I'm just going to fling this over here. Like, it's so easily done, and you don't actually realize how much of an impact that can have on your mood. And I'd also say just make sure you're around people who are going to help keep you accountable. This is always something so good to do, like with somebody. If you really struggle to stay on track with stuff, get a friend involved, you know, create vision boards. What are both of you going to look like by the time New Year rolls around? I will always support doing things as a team, especially if you don't have a coach. Again, applying this to myself, I'm so lucky in the fact that I have Jim. He keeps me so accountable, mainly because I'm a little bit scared of him. But, you know, if you're not a little bit afraid of your coach, then I feel like you're working with the wrong person. Yeah, he's always keeping me in line. And again, I'm so lucky in that I've got great friends who will be like, no, like, get on your shit if I start to slip. This doesn't even necessarily apply to Winter Arc. It's just like a point in general, but just really pay attention to who is in your circle, who's supporting you, who's keeping you accountable. Again, firm believer in that you're a product of your surroundings. Make sure you're dedicating your time to those who are going to lift you up and support your journey. If you made it this far, I would absolutely love to hear the goals that you have heading into the new year. Cannot believe we're only a matter of months away from 2026. Made me feel a bit unwell. Went to the garden centre this morning. Christmas tree. First thing I see. What the fuck? Anyways, I hope some of those tips were helpful and that you're feeling a little bit motivated for the winter months. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next week.